You're listening to the Midlife Edit. Think of this as your remix for midlife strength, mindset, and living unapologetically. I'm Jen, your host, and together we're making this chapter not just good, but a damn good chapter. This is the Midlife Edit. Hey, friends, and welcome back to the Midlife Edit. Before I start today's episode, I just want to remind you, or maybe this is the first time you're hearing it, but if you go to themidlifeeditco.com/shop and you purchase a Feed the People Tour t-shirt or sweatshirt, 100% of the profits are going straight to Feeding America to help those out there in need for this time of year. So again, themidlifeeditco.com/shop. Go grab your Feed the People Tour t-shirt or sweatshirt and just know that when you do, you've really helped put a meal on a family's table. So let's go. Let's step right into week 3 of the pre-holiday reset. And the theme this week is breathe. And honestly, the timing couldn't be more perfect. My husband and I took some much needed time off, just a few days, just to reset. And we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And when I was there, something clicked for me. When I'm walking through everything, something that I've been circling around for months or maybe even years. And today I want to talk about that moment, about breathing room, about music, and about midlife reinvention in a way that I've talked about it a little bit, but I really want to dive into what I'm feeling. So settle in. Take a deep breath. Because this one, it's important. It's important to me, and I think that a lot of you will resonate with it. So again, week 3 of the reset is all about breathing. And not that kind of shallowed rush kind of breathing when we're stressed out or multitasking, like no. I mean the kind of breath that forces you to slow down, to notice, to feel, to actually hear what's going on inside of you. Breathing creates space. Space creates clarity. And clarity is where reinvention begins. So this week, it's all about allowing yourself to pause long enough to ask, hey, what do I actually need? What direction am I being pulled toward? And what have I been ignoring? And strangely, or really maybe not strangely at all, actually, those questions are exactly what came up for me this week. Again, my husband and I went up to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If you haven't been there, please go, because it's so freaking amazing. But anyway, if you've been listening to this show for a while, you know that music isn't new here. It's not something that I'm just suddenly talking about. It's already kind of woven into almost every episode I do. I mean, I had Jarrett Reddick on, the lead singer from Bowling for Soup, because a song that he played at a concert I was at resonated so much with me that I just had to speak to him. It's about, I talk about concerts and bands and lyrics and the energy of live music and the nostalgia of songs that hit me hard and make me happy, because music is a huge part of who I am. But being there in the Hall of Fame, physically surrounded by decades of music history, it hit differently. And honestly, it wasn't my first time there. I went when I think it was the summer between 7th and 8th or 8th and 9th, I don't know. A long time ago. I went with my sister and my dad. And I remembered little bits and pieces from it, but that was a long time ago. But music has always been such a huge part of my life. And I have my father, who unfortunately isn't here with us anymore. But I have him to thank for that, because he got me into all kinds of music. And when I say all kinds, I mean, he took me to my first concert when I was 11 years old. We went to see Criss Cross, like Criss Cross, warm it up, Criss Cross, jump, jump. That was my first concert. And then for my 12th birthday, he took me to see the Eagles. So wide variety of genres, wide variety of music, but music is so important to me. So, walking through there and feeling the feelings, I mean, it was emotional for me. Happy emotional, sad emotional, like the whole thing. The whole few hours we were there was just, it was unbelievable. And it reminded me why music has always been my language, why it's the backdrop of every reinvention that I've ever gone through, and why it keeps finding its way into the episodes I record without maybe even planning it. Walking through the exhibits, seeing the eras, the handwritten lyrics, the outfits, the guitars, the iconic photos, it felt like walking through a museum of everybody have ever been. Guys, music is personal. It's subjective. Two people can hear the same song and experience two completely different emotional universes. And that's what makes it powerful. Because the way you hear a song, the meaning you attach to it, it reveals who you are, what you've lived through, what you're becoming. And then, standing there and listening to all of the songs. I mean, from Motown to Seattle grunge to pop, like all of this music. I realized something. I've always talked about music on this show, but I haven't fully honored the way it ties to reinvention, identity, and midlife. Until now. So, I've talked about this before, but when I was little, I didn't want to be a teacher or a doctor or an astronaut. I didn't even have a realistic, what do you want to be when you grow up answer. I wanted to be Jem. Yep, Jem. Jem and the Holograms, Jerrica Benson, Jem. That was it. That was my dream. I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to sing. I wanted to wear the outfits. I wanted the lights in my face and the attention and the larger than life scene. I wanted to be that musical heroine. But you know what the problem is? I can't sing, like at all. I sing all the time. I sing at the top of my lungs in my car and in the shower or walking around the house, but I can't carry a tune to save my life. And that dream died. It died very fast in a very painful death, probably around middle school when I realized, it's so silly. And I'll talk about nostalgia more as we go through these episodes. But when we were younger, we went to my friend's grandma's swimming pool, and three of us stood at the end of the swimming pool and pretended to be TLC. No shit. I hope that you ladies are listening, Lindsay and Sarah, right now, because we were TLC. We would do the Waterfalls music video. But when I realized that I couldn't sing was when they gave me the littlest part to do, because they knew I couldn't sing and they were just being nice. I think that was the only time they were actually really nice to me. I got picked on a lot by them. Thanks, guys. You made me a better person. I'm just kidding. But honestly, like, I can't sing. But you know what I can do? I can tell stories. And storytelling is its own kind of music. It has rhythm and emotion and movement, and it connects people. And it lets me express the things that I feel in the same way that music does, even if I'm not the one singing behind the mic with a guitar. I can tell you how that song made me feel. I can tell you what those lyrics meant to me. And that's what this podcast is for me, a place where music, midlife, identity, and reinvention all kind of meet in the middle. A place where I get to honor the version of me who wanted to be Jem, not by singing, but by creating something that still feels electric and real and connected. And that's the energy I want to carry into the next evolution of the show. Here's the truth, you guys. Midlife, it's basically one reinvention arc. It's not the start over from scratch kind. It's kind of like the return to what's always been true about you kind. Maybe you have pushed that person down, because sometimes, for me, it wasn't cool to like music. I mean, sure, music was everywhere when I was growing up, but I didn't grow up in a family with musicians. I grew up in a family of athletes. I mean, nobody's professional athletes now, but they were good athletes. I'm the oldest of four, and I just wasn't. I wasn't a good athlete, but I loved music. But sometimes I kind of think I kind of hid that a little bit because I was ashamed that I wasn't that good athlete that I should have been. And so music to me was my outlet. It was the lyrics that I would listen to and resonate with, happy, sad, whatever. And it's now I think about those times where I was in my bedroom with my magazines listening to whatever I liked at the moment, because my music range is so all over the place. And I'm kind of getting back to me right now. I'm getting back to that person of me. And I realize that reinvention isn't breaking yourself down. It's remembering yourself. It's choosing yourself. And it's claiming the next era of your life with intention. And, when I think about my life when I was younger with music, I think about how it has connected me to people in a way that is so beautiful. My one friend that I just talked about, Sarah, her and I were huge into music, all different kinds of music. But we were very close. I mean, we're still very close friends. We were very close growing up, and we would almost bicker like we were sisters. Fight over stupid stuff. But I remember we would do that, and then we'd be on the volleyball bus, and we couldn't quote unquote fight for that long. We couldn't stay mad at each other. So we always knew that if we had our Discman with our headphones and our different CDs that we had, and we listened to a song that we'd be like, hey, listen to this song. And we would share songs with each other. And that was kind of our apology to each other. And, I laughed about it for a lot of years, but it's so beautiful, isn't it? Because that was our way of saying sorry. That was our way of saying this song and these lyrics mean so much to me that I really want you to hear them. So when I look at things like that, when I remember stories like that, when I look at musicians, especially women, they're reinventing constantly. New albums, new eras, new sounds, new versions of themselves that they're willing to let the world see. And unfortunately, with men, nobody really questions it, right? Like, let me think of, how about, it was weird. So maybe people did question it. But when Garth Brooks became Chris Gaines, that was a weird little change, right? But nobody really put him down for it. Maybe they made fun of him a little bit, but what about when a woman wants to reinvent herself? Look at Pink. I use her a lot as examples, but that was back. She came out in the time of the late 90s, early 2000s, where it was all about the pop scene, right? You had to be skinny and long blonde hair, and you had to sing those poppy, not funny, fun, like bubblegum pop. The Britneys and the Christinas and all of those people, Mandy Moore, Jessica Simpson, you had to be that to be quote unquote popular. And she refused to do that. And she stayed true to who she was. And she's still fucking killing it now. And Pink is somebody that I look at and I'm like, that woman knows who she is. But it probably took her a long time to get there. Then I look at Kate Hudson. Kate Hudson is an awesome actress. I love her so, so, so much. But do you know she's got a gorgeous voice too? And she, in her midlife era, is kind of really diving into that. She sung for a really long time, but she's really going into that. And I love that. So I want to celebrate their evolution, but I also want to say, why don't we celebrate everyday women in midlife the same way? Walking through the museum, I thought of something. And then, I came home and I stewed on this for a few days, and I listened to music and watched some documentaries. By the way, if you haven't watched the Kurt Cobain documentary, it is so good. So check that out. But anyway, I was thinking about this, and I really want to highlight the women who are reinventing through music, either personally or professionally. I want to highlight women who are creating, performing, returning to music, launching bands, releasing albums, or just rediscovering creativity in midlife, because those stories, they deserve to be heard. And I mean, not just the Kate Hudsons of the world, but that mom who put down the guitar to raise a family and now wants to do it again, or that songwriter who is very talented and writes beautiful lyrics who started again, or maybe somebody like me who always wanted to be part of the music world and didn't know how. But here I am, pivoting, editing my podcast towards that one thing that has always been constant in my life. It's not a rebrand, it's not a pivot. It's me honoring what's already been part of the show, and I want it to take up the space that it deserves. So here's what's happening moving forward. You're still getting The same old stuff on the podcast: midlife wellness, nutrition, strength, mindset, everything you came here for to begin, like at the beginning. But now you're also getting the heartbeat underneath it all. More music, more stories, more conversations with women who are rewriting their next chapters with creativity, courage, and volume. This next era isn't about changing directions, it's about magnifying what's already here. So, here's where I need your help. If there's a woman in music who has ever inspired you, famous, unknown, indie, local, your best friend, the woman who taught you piano in the 3rd grade, your choir teacher, the singer who got you through a divorce, the girl in your town who plays guitar at the farmer's market, I want to talk to her. Send her name to me. Send her information to me. Reach out to them and say, hey, this crazy lady on a podcast really wants to talk to you. DM me, email me, send me your songs, her socials, her story. This next era, I want to build it with you. I want to build it together. And as a thank you, anybody who does send me a guest suggestion, I'm going to throw some kind of free swag from the Midlife Edit, maybe a sticker or a pin or mini print, something fun and meaningful as a thank you for helping me grow this into the next chapter. Because I'm so excited about this. I think that women need to be heard in this space, but also need to feel free to express who they are. You know, if you follow me on social, I'm going to post some of my pictures of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But let me tell you, the outfit that I wore a couple years ago, I would have been hesitant to wear it. And it was just some baggy jeans, a black shirt, and some Converse, and a flannel tied around my waist. But I am so happy with who I am now. I'm going to dress the way I want. I'm going to talk the way I want. I'm going to listen to whatever music that I want to listen to. And I want to talk to the women out there who are fucking crushing it because they're amazing singers, crushing it because they've looked in the mirror and said, this is my dream and I'm going to go for it at 45 years old, crushing it because you feel good about who you are. So again, throw me names, please. But let's just return real quick to this week's theme of breathe. Breathing creates the space for truth to come forward, guys. Breathing slows the noise long enough for you to hear yourself. Breathing lets you soften into change instead of bracing against it. And breathing makes reinvention possible. Take one deep breath today. That's it. That one deep breath, the kind that fills your lungs, your ribs, your shoulders. And remember, you're not starting over. You're stepping into your next era. Just like all those artists you love. Just like that little girl that wanted to be Jem. Just like the woman that you're becoming. And if you know a woman in music who embodies that energy, send her my way, because this next chapter, it's going to be so special, you guys. I am so, so, so thankful for all of you here, for all of you who continue to listen. I'm going to link a couple things in the show notes. We're going to do the pre-holiday reset if you haven't signed up for that. Again, it's just a few emails that you'll get, and there's some landing pages. This one this week will show you how to do some breathing exercises and give you some tips and tricks for those. I'm going to link the Feed the People Tour shirt in the show notes, and I'm going to link my email address because, again, if you guys know anybody that would love to talk about how music has shaped them, even if they're like me and can't sing, send them to me. Let's talk about it. So thankful for you. Please make sure to like, subscribe, share, do all the things with this podcast. Share it with somebody in midlife who you know that needs to hear it. And until next time, this is the Midlife Edit. Let's make it a damn good chapter. You've been listening to the Midlife Edit, your remix for midlife. Remember, we're making this chapter not just good, but a damn good chapter. Want more? Join the Midlife Edit Insiders group on Facebook for deeper conversations, grab the curated playlists to fuel your comeback tour, and check out the merch that lets you wear your midlife with pride. Everything's linked for you in the show notes. And until next time, keep living bold, strong, and unapologetic. This is the Midlife Edit. Let's make it a damn good chapter.